Hey, welcome back.
We're back in the depths.
We are. All right, last time we left you off tantalizingly. With knowledge of where we're at. So, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the blog. All right?
Yeah.
Going to get out my hand-drawn map here. And you know what? It's if I had a nickel for every time I needed to pull out pen and paper to work on a game that we played on the channel, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
We should play that one game.
Wow, that one game? You want to play that one game?
That one
Oh, you want to play that one game?
roguelike. Is it on the Game Boy? They don't give you maps.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Apparently
I
me
wasn't
neither.
doing a bit. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's head over to the blog. So we're gonna go flutes. No, sorry, that's strings. And then we're gonna go strings again. We're gonna go strings. And then we're gonna go drums. We're gonna go strings. I'm gonna go drums.
Blog time.
All right, let's cast a spell on the blog. So we want to create a bubble of pure silence around it, right?
We do.
I cast mute on the blog. Its many gelatinous mouths continue to flap, but no sound comes out. Unable to complete its purpose by expressing itself, it begins to shrivel, become smaller and smaller till it collapses on itself, becoming nothing but scraps of semi-transparent comments. The wiki pulls itself free and chitters happily.
We've finally pulled off the ultimate power move, starting on a podcast and then hitting mute.
Man, that is a power move. And depending on who you are, they might still run it. A tiny wiki crustacean floats here, shell covered in facts. The wiki is happy to give me the following information. The path to a hidden area. Ooh!
That's not a valid IP address.
The wiki has no more information to give me. Okay. Now from the blog, we want to go trumpets, flutes, trumpets, flutes, and then drums, and then flutes, and then trumpets, and then flutes twice more.
Ah.
Dark prophecy. There's a memory here. It is mine, but it is not mine. It throws with potential. It matches the environment perfectly. Door the prophecy of dark. I touch the memory. I touch the prophecy. It echoes in my mind with the power that comes with inevitability. Child of the web. Ghost sibling. Fear eater. Silver smile in the night. Protector. She stands with a sword in one hand, chalice in the other. Stand with her. Realize your truth, that fear is necessary for bravery. Embrace the light and it will no longer harm you. The seeds of change are hidden in our capacity to love. Be dark, be brave, be ready for the apocalypse.
That's how we do the other fucking puzzle.
That's how we do the
my
other
God.
fucking puzzle. Oh my fucking
Finally.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna cop to this before we get. We actually like gave up and were like looking up an answer, and we couldn't find anyone explaining how to do it. But
now
I guess,
we know. It's
now
just
we
right
know.
here.
How do I write this down, or it's gonna go in our inventory? One of the 6 prophecies of matter. They are extremely important. They are mine? No more. I am theirs. They are not mine. They belong to someone else. Someone up there in the physical world. I found them. I keep them. When the time is right, I will deliver them. They are extremely important, worth killing for. Worth sending someone to the bottom of the ocean. Well, this probably explains why I'm here. At least partially. Someone does not want the prophecies delivered to the people they are destined for. The water here is faintly stained with meaningful darkness.
Did we go all the way to the bottom of the depths?
Yep.
Okay.
I did create a complete map of it, and I do believe that is everything we have to do in here.
Hell yeah. Should
Fuck.
we zip on
Yeah.
back to the angel place and whip out a solution real quick?
Or we could go to... Yeah, let's go to Lighthouse real quick. All right, so let's look at our inventory.
Fuck. That's fair. It wasn't our memory.
There we go.
It is.
It's on our USB. Okay. It starts with, oh, hold on.
That seems simple enough.
Child. Okay. Should I just write this down so we can easily reference it?
I think we can just get it.
Okay.
So it'll start with child of a mother without a father. And then we'll have the spirit seeker.
Let's see. Let's make those. This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the protect us is there. Yes. The next is the sword in one hand, chalice in the other bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Realize your truth and hold it as a lantern. Do you want me to check one more time?
What is this? Is this the whole thing if we scroll up and down?
Yeah, that's all of it. I already put these ones.
Try just submitting. I think this is right.
I touched the whole memory. I touched the prophecy. It echoes in my mind with power that comes with inevitability. Absorb the light prophecy. The prophecy of light is one of the 6 prophecies that matter. Yo, I found a prophecy in here. Never mind, sorry to bother you. Wait, what?
Oh, no, that is the prophecy of light. I was going to say, can we read it? Then I realized, no, that's what we were just doing.
That's what we just read, yeah. The fountain in the center of the room gleams like moonlight. Small plumes of water leap up and fall back down in perfect arcs. Despite this, the pool of the fountain is still and smooth. The water so pure it returns to itself without causing ripples.
Cool.
Well, all right.
Worth
it. So we got 2 options. We can go to 1010101010, or we can go to
How's the journey to
Let's find out how the journey to It'll be a difficult trip. Picking up faint noises over the radio. Shrill, hard to make out any words. This will be a difficult trip. I think we drop a hot save first.
Yeah.
Let's drop a hot save. Yep. And now we're going to try going to What are the content warnings? Body.
I see.
Now you're speaking my
kind
language.
Of zone.
Let's go. All right. I'm ready to sail the C++. I encounter a bewildering whirlpool. Confounding whirls of water and distraction try to tug me in. I think we use search engine here.
Yeah,
Order.
I think order seems like a good thing to use.
Not quite powerful enough to undo the whirlpool, but it does keep the ship from being damaged. Okay, so it wasn't correct, but it wasn't wrong. Okay. A terrible wailing, a horrible ear-splitting cries suddenly rise through the air around my ship. Sounds of pain made manifest in the air. Ear-splitting cries rise through the air around my ship. Sounds of pain made manifest. Pain. Maybe a life?
Yeah?
But is that the opposite of pain? Because I associate pain with death, but that doesn't have to be that, right?
Only one way to find out.
We could use a love. We have a couple of extra love ones.
Do we think love will do something to this one? I don't know.
It depends on what kind of pain I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll try life. I think, or love. Yeah, life. That seemed that. Do you have a?
Yeah, I think there's only one way to find out. Didn't help. Okay.
Yep. Grief hail. Chunks calcified grief rain down around me. Grief. Huh? We're getting griefed?
It's calcified.
It's hail, though.
Oh, it's hail.
Oh, if we had fire, we could... How about love? Love
sure,
is the
let's
opposite
try
of grief.
love. Let's try love.
Cool. There we go. Uncertainty fog.
Ooh.
It's indexing itself. Got it.
We can only do it once, I see. I guess we have to use an order or something, or would a light work because it's a fog? Pits.
Still, we made it there. Those are rough. Like, there is definitely a rhyme and a reason to it, but it's definitely, unless you are like fully in the headspace of it, it is difficult to grok.
Plus, we have very limited resources, and it all depends on what we use in the other ones. So, like, if we fucked up on our first one, then there's no guarantee we have the stuff to do it.
And a lot of the stuff that we got is optional. You don't always have access to that stuff. Like, it feels like you're inevitably going to take damage no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first thing I hear is screaming. That's not right. Screaming is high and raw and brief. Startled horror, choked from a throat. This anguished noise rolls up and down the register, unhurried agony. First thing I hear is wailing. There's a pit here, near the bottom of the ocean. Its sides are lined with faces. Sometimes the noises they make rise to screams and slide down to moans, but mostly they just wail. I stop the ship by the edge of the pit, wailing faces. I am beside a pit lined with screaming faces. Mouths pucker along the edge. The lip of the pit is chapped and twitching. Even here, the noise is almost unbearable. I'm going to drop a save here, if that's cool with you. I feel like us going mad is going to happen at least once in this area.
Field trip to hell? Field trip to hell?
Field trip to hell. Let's look into the pit. I nose my ship over the pit and look down. Deeper in the pit, I see faces, heads, and necks sticking up from the sides, grating back and forth as they vent their horror sound. Return to the edge. Try to talk to the faces. Try to talk to a few of the faces at the edge of the pit. The ones that have enough mouth to properly speak, but they refuse to interrupt their wailing long enough to talk to me.
Let's do some magic. How about,
I feel like mute might be the... Yeah, let's... Pain is a blind thing, but all pain has a reason. First step, understand. Okay.
Let's hello world it, just in case.
I feel like mute is not going to help us here.
Yeah.
Mouths don't mind it, but the faces a little further down the pit wince, and those with necks retract to the sudden burst of light.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think muting them is going to... Well, we just saved, right?
Yeah, we could also try going into the pit.
Pit. I steer my ship into the writhing mass of faces. As I fall deeper into the pit, the faces become heads. They become more recognizable as people, less digested into wailing orifices. It's somehow more terrible to still be able to distinguish them as individuals, but see them all locked together in this one cacophonous action. I'm midway down the pit. I'm surrounded by faces all wailing. The water's thick with fear. Get some fear.
Yeah.
You try to collect some, but this isn't the safest environment.
Let's cast a spell. Let's cast Omini.
Down among faces, the golden answer is best, or distract and grab.
The golden answer. Silence is golden.
Oh, yo. You were so smart. I wouldn't have gotten that, but that makes perfect sense. Silence in the pit feels strange and wrong, as unnatural screaming in a church, the opposite of sacrilege. The faces are not prepared. For a long minute as they flail in mute confusion to collect all the fear that's solid enough to grab. Alright, let's drop another hot save here, because I don't know what we're going to keep finding in the middle of this pit. Descend further. The walls of the pit are narrowing. The faces now have necks that could stretch off at the sides of the pit. You hear the mouths gnawing on the plating. Luckily, I have a ship durable enough to withstand some teething. Deep in the pit, the faces have necks and undulate as they wail. There is someone here, trapped in the side of the pit. The person here is lashed to the wall, held by the faces. Teeth dig into his legs and arms. The faces wail and muffled hisses through their clenched jaws. The figure screams with them, slowly being dragged into the wall of the pit to join them.
Let's cast a spell.
Gather information.
I do like my omens.
Make sure that you are very well equipped before you try to save Matthias. Very well equipped, huh?
We can see what happens.
You wanted to see what happens?
Yeah, we did just save, so... the worst that could happen.
Person will in the wall will be a multi-step process. If I don't choose the right spell or matter, every step of the way will cost me my blood or his life. I don't think I'll get a second chance at this. The faces here seem aware enough to take drastic action against someone trying to steal their prize. Better be sure I have all the spells and elements I need before trying. Okay. Well, we don't... I feel like we gotta come with guns blazing. And there's still stuff for us to learn to send further. The pit narrows below me. The faces have teeth like cleavers. Ship creaks and quivers disconcertingly as the wailing around us increases in pitch. I'm extremely concerned about going any deeper. To get through here, I'm going to need one of two things, a powerful engine or a very durable ship. Content warnings for the area below. Ho ho ho! Great! I guess we have the toughness of our ship to go here.
Yeah, we can give it a shot.
Just gonna keep saving every couple of seconds here.
We did get the really tough ship, but... Oh, that's the skip button?
Yep. Send and trust the toughness of my ship. The heavy debugger is solid, and I safely descend. I go down and down. I break through a crust of calcified pain. Suddenly, everything is quieter. I'm at the bottom of the wailing pit. There are no faces this deep down. The wailing is distant above me. I'm in a cavernous chamber. Most of it is obscured by darkness. The walls and floor are sticky with some sort of liquid.
A stickwid, if you will.
The liquid is viscous. There's a tepid, swirling flow to it. It is mottled like an oil-slick rainbow, colorful but in a sickly way. My hand over it to try to get a sense of its spiritual properties. In so much pain that I can't move. No one is home. I can't get up. I literally can't do anything but writhe in bed alone. That wasn't me. That wasn't here. That was someone else, somewhere, someone in pain, but the experience had a stale quality, a memory. These are liquid memories. It's not quite right. These are memories, but purer, of a particular type, liquid pain. A pool of liquid pain at the bottom of a screaming pit. There are no faces this deep down. The wailing is distant above me. Let's cast a spell.
Omen time.
Every choked scream, every bitten back curse, pain that cannot be expressed has to go somewhere. So it leaks out of the physical world, drips down through the web, and collects here.
Let's say hello.
Cast light in this situation. My awareness of the cavern expands. First thing I see is pain. Pain seeps in from holes in the wall. Some are narrow cracks leaking trickles of unhappiness. Some are tunnels oozing agony. Chambers girded by sloping tunnels, all leading up steep angles. Pain pours out of them slowly, floating like oil on water. I see one of my memories. A few yards away, a woman is sitting, waist deep in liquid. Let's pick up her memory, then we'll approach the girl.
Sounds reasonable.
I try to take my memory. I touch it. It burns me. I flinch back. Disturbed by the touch, it sinks into the liquid pain. Fuck! Reach down after it. I can sense flashes of blue in the liquid pain pool below. Familiar flickers of my memories, but I can't quite make out what they are. I'll have to feel around for them. I can think of very little. I want to do less. I lean out of the hatch of my ship and gingerly sink my hands into the oily layers of pain. My mind is filled with other people's memories. It's all so intense. I need to identify which ones are mine. First memory. The constant feeling that I am alone in a world full of people who can't seem to accept me, understand me, love me. I'm just too odd. It's worse because I understand love as a physical affection. Hugs, high fives, snuggles, something that is socially frowned upon outside of dating and rarely offered. I don't want sex. I just want touch. Why is that so hard?
Interesting. So we have to pick which memories are ours.
Yeah. Now, I'm trying to think of what we've been told about our character. About Pisces here. So, because I don't think we've ever heard anything about Pisces sexuality before.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard anything at all, any particular way.
What happens if we try to absorb it and it's wrong?
Good question.
Okay. There we go.
Reasonable.
Reasonable.
Let's try another memory.
I'm beat up every day after I get off the bus. I take a knife to school to protect myself, but they catch me. I come back from suspension. More bullying. I have no one to say anything to.
That's not us.
That doesn't sound like us either. He touches my thigh and it feels like slime, but if I tell him to stop, he might get angry. So I just laugh and scoot away.
I don't know whether this is one of ours. Let's try another.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We've had very little told to us about Pi. We know that we are an older woman, it seems, in that we have I believe it is our right leg is severely injured.
Mm-hmm.
You have breast cancer. I heard these words and then had to go about my day activities for the next 8 weeks as if everything was normal. I don't think that is ours. She'd be happier without me. Oh my God, Chad has been talking about his car for 10 minutes. Someone please save me from this conversation. Okay, I think I needed that.
The ultimate pain.
Because there's no music down here.
Yeah.
There is coffee, though. The ultimate matter or motive.
Coffee is just water plus earth.
It
plus
is.
Love.
Water plus earth plus... Yeah, you're right. When I was 12, I was drugged, raped, and left for dead in a ditch by my then boyfriend. He had actually tried to kill me to make sure I wouldn't talk, but I survived. My parents didn't know I'd gone out with him that night. I don't remember getting home. I think I climbed back in through a window, treated my wounds, and never told anyone. I stayed with the guy that did it for 6 months after that. Whew. My mother's crying, and I'm holding her, and I'm being okay. She needs me. My mother needs me to be strong. The world is breaking, and I'm being okay. My mother is crying. After carrying 6 bodies of American service members from a Bradley that was hit with an IED, and loading them into my tracked vehicle, and then helping unload them to our medic area, I had to go back out again to continue our mission. A high-ranking officer asked me if I was okay, because I had a blank stare on my face. I told him I was fine. I was not fine. I'm wheeling myself slowly down a ramp. I get to the bottom. Someone behind me hisses, finally. A woman with a stroller scowls at me as she speeds past. Excuse me for fucking existing, something I don't have the energy to yell after her.
I feel like that could be one of ours.
That could be ours, because we did mention that being able to move freely around the sea was important to us.
Yeah.
Kobe! It slides back into my mind with a satisfying familiarity. It is whole, and within it I find a piece of a spell.
Discovered part of spell Sapharo. Pain listener equals new pain listener mybody.log. Collected one of 3 parts of this spell.
Continue to search?
Let's see if there's more.
Oh, there could be more.
Yeah. I imagine there's a finite number of them, so we'll see.
Watching the guy I'm dating propose to the girlfriend I didn't know he had, from a booth he doesn't know I'm in. My 30th birthday, my mother told me that my dad was not my biological father. She said I couldn't tell him I knew. She made it my job to tell my sisters. Every Father's Day she calls me and asks when I'm going to do that. I've worked in libraries for almost a decade now. When I worked on the north side of Fort Worth, I would help families with small children. One time I went to squat down to reach a book on a lower shelf in the kids' department. There's a small wooden chair behind me, kind that is square and solid. Anyways, I somehow misjudged the distance or didn't see the chair, and I basically sat on the corner, landed right on my tailbone. Hurt like a bitch, but I just kind of gritted my teeth, handled the family their book, and waited until they left to limp back to my desk. I love the more banal pains.
Yeah. We've got all flavors of pain here.
I'm nauseous all the time. I can't eat anything but toast. The doctors say there's nothing wrong with me, so maybe I'm crazy. I'm losing weight. Guess that's good. Just try to keep down water and dry heave into a trash can. I don't recognize... Yeah, I don't... Chronic illness. Work 3 jobs and maintain the house. Your body swells. You really feel lucky that most people think you're getting it's fat. It isn't fat. It's the body attacking itself. Fuck healthcare. There isn't a damn thing affordable.
We haven't heard anything about that for us, I don't think.
No, but I'm also willing to believe that someone in our position probably has very bad experiences with the healthcare system.
Certainly.
I hate hospitals. Contempt born of familiarity. Almost thirsty. I use a moat of water to fill her glass without getting up. Talk about stupid little things because for the first time in my life, I'm too scared to ask for the truth.
I feel like that could be us.
Let's drop a hot save.
Stuck in the hospital, hating it, doing sorcery.
We only know that there's one of our memories here. I don't...
Yeah, but let's try it.
Yo! I guess we do have to find all... I guess the 1 out of 3 was our clue, right?
Presumably.
What tipped you off?
What?
What tipped you off?
That it just seemed to be obviously the one that was about us because it was about sorcery and stuff.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And this is also definitely... Or is this?
I think I broke my arm. How do you tell if you broke your arm? If I say something, they'll call me a pussy. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not a pussy. God, it hurts so much.
I don't know if this is ours because we definitely broke bones and stuff, but...
It doesn't sound like our internal dialogue, though. Yeah. Customers don't care if you have a headache. Customers don't care if you have a period just started and your uterus is stabbing you. Customers don't care if you want to cry. Customers don't want to see any sign that you exist or do anything other than scan their item and take their money. So smile.
Oof.
Not my memory. Try another. Saw my grandmother's message to my mother on an AOL instant messenger screen that she forgot to close out. Not much, just a doctor's name and some unusually solemn words. Google told me the doctor dealt primarily in brain cancers. I went through the day as normally as I could for my brothers. Do we have family?
I don't know.
Have we ever mentioned family?
I feel like I feel like anything that shows up, if it isn't obviously us, then it won't be, because we've deliberately not been given too much details.
Okay. We moved to a different part of the country when I was 12. I didn't have the easiest time adjusting, but after a few years, I met my boyfriend and it got better. During an argument, my dad said he had something that triggered my memories of how lonely I had been. I walked away and started crying. He asked what was wrong. I didn't want to tell him. I knew he wouldn't understand, but he kept pressing. And I tried. I really tried to explain. He laughed at me, and I never mentioned it again. My father doesn't remember who I am most of the time. When he does remember me, he calls me by my brother's name. Even at my own wedding. Talking about it would just make it hard for him and my mother. I hate hugging Aunt Pim. She smells like powder and her nails hurt my arms, but I have to pretend to like it. Excited about the parrot I finished making out of Legos, but no one cares, so I don't tell anyone.
The worst pain.
I appreciate the moments of more manageable pain. I walk from car to car on the subway. I tell the same story. Lost job, lost home, kids. People don't look at me. People don't want to see me. People don't want me to exist. Attending a meeting to discuss my performance on a project for which I'd been assigned leader, while my cat is dying at home. I'm only away from him 2 hours, but I'm terrified that he'll be gone before I get back. The whole meeting, I feel my insides are being clawed out and pulled back to my home. My eyes prickle. I keep them wide to push the tears back. Push my nails into my arms and into my hands to keep my mind at work. He doesn't lift his head when I come back, but he chirps as I call his name. My leg is burning. It's not on fire anymore, but it's still burning. How? Why? What does that? Harvey is crouched beside me. I wish he wasn't here, though. Thank God he was. He's too young to deal with an adult in this much pain, so I dig my fingernails in my kneecap to tell him, "Good job," in a steady voice. Go find the rest of the class to get him out of the room. This might be us.
This could be us.
Let's drop a hot save. So many save slots. I appreciate that.
Yeet.
That's it. Take my hands out of the fucking swamp of pain.
All right, let's do some compilation. We can now cast Sophero. What does it do?
Pain listener equals new pain listener mybody.log. Listener on pain equals new function pain. Set timeout experience pain 1 minute. Listeners add listener. This doesn't look like real C++ to me.
Put off experiencing pain for a minute. Huh.
Oh, yeet. Let's try casting that. What would Omni say? Right.
Let's just see what happens if we cast it. Doesn't do anything. Okay, cool.
Let's go talk to that girl.
Yeah.
Swim over to the girl, carefully staying above the pain. There's a girl sitting here. Her eyes are slanted downwards and she is smiling inoffensively. She wears a dress that is not too revealing, but not too conservative. Her hair is tied up in a bun that is neither priggishly tight nor sluttishly loose. She's wearing silver bracelets. Cool bracelets. Bracelets she wears are not only bracelets. It stretches my mind a little to do, but I feel like I can perceive them in a different way. From a different perspective, they are chains. Damn it, the chains. Chains are made out of words. Links go on for a long time. We did just save, right?
Yeah.
We're not safe. Don't be a pushover. Don't be a bitch. Your blood is disgusting. Have a child. Smile. We're not safe. Speak up if you want to be heard. You're coming off a little shrill. You're overreacting. How can I know what you're thinking if you don't tell me? You are not safe. When are you having kids? That's not very ladylike. Is it your time of the month? You are not safe, sweetheart. Baby. Honey. Sweetie. You are not safe. She dresses like a slut, so why shouldn't she be treated poorly? Don't cave to beauty standards. Shave your legs, bitch. Stand up for yourself. Be brave. Put yourself out there. Men do. We don't need cunts like you in this world. We get beaten, tortured, raped, and killed. Maybe it's funny when it happens to bitches like you. You are not safe. You are not safe. You are not safe.
Ugh.
Man, I don't like it here at See her in a different way. Try to perceive her in a different way, like how I changed the bracelets to chains, but it's harder. The bracelets wanted to be changed. The fact that they were changed was so true, it was easy to see through the falseness of one form into the truth of another. Person is more complex. I'm not skilled enough in this sort of perspective shifting to see what different people she should be. She probably comes from somewhere in the deep web. Maybe if I found her home, I could understand her better.
Let's talk.
She tries to speak to you, but she cannot find the balance between forceful enough to be heard and soft enough to be ladylike, so she says nothing. She smiles apologetically.
Interesting.
What did Omni tell us about this?
Yeah, it didn't tell us anything about
That's not
her.
a haiku at all.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like we have what we would need. So it's got to connect to something for another area, probably.
You think so? We found her home. Okay, so if we found her home, we might be able to understand her better. Okay, so we were trying to find... So now we also have to be on the lookout for the home of the girl in the pain pit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go back up. And we're going to have to bring everything to bear to deal with Matthias here.
There's bears? What if we put off experiencing pain?
I think that'll help here.
Damn
What
it.
does Omni say? First step, understand. Okay. All right, I guess we'll leave that be for now.
Yeah.
Really love it here and All right, I guess we'll head over to 10-101-010-10.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do.
We're going to save just so we don't die on the way there and lose all of our important stuff.
Gee, do I wish I didn't have us lose all our health right at the beginning for no fucking reason.
It's all right. Let's go. And to counter anxiety rapids. The water here swirls and whirls and froths with anxiety. Didn't we get through this by using the search engine?
I think so. I forget. Let's try that. Yeah.
Yay. Grief hail. Chunks of calcified grief rain down around me.
Love worked last time, right?
Did it?
Didn't it?
Yay. Motivation currents. These waters are laced with subtle but vivacious motives.
They're water. We could use water on it.
Just adding more water to it?
Because sometimes using the same element helps you control it.
Huh. I latch onto the subtle currents with water. They toss me forward. Woo! Look at that. Fucking perfect. I get a hint of where I'm headed as I briefly lose control of the ship. The bow dips. I steady it, steering right and up.
Up and to the right. Up and to the right.
Up and to the right. Easing out of the eddy that caught me.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
Hey, Eddie. Eddie, are you ready? A spatter of bits lands on the glass. My ship still trembles. I am surrounded by troubled waters. In front of my ship, there is a marvel. A whirlpool of data cascades from above. It twists and turns in active chaos, spiraling in a narrowing gyre down into the depths of the sea. I've heard stories about things like this. It is a torrent of bits. Particles of information that collect spontaneously into whirlpools of meaning. Dangerous but useful information can manifest inside them. Gonna drop a hot save real quick. I am safe inside of my ship. However, just outside, a whirlpool of data spirals in a narrowing gyre down from above into the depths of the sea.
Let's search around it first. I would like some debris.
There are 4 parts left. Yo! We can get parts. Dude. Doodah.
Doodad. Ah!
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this?
Circuit.
Ooh.
Oh, capacitor.
Oh. I saw a circuit in there too. It, Bofa.
Yeah.
Just when you thought we were done. I don't see...
Yeah, nothing's jumping out at me.
Let's get a new perspective. Circuit. Okay, one last part. Look at this hot word search gameplay right here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This is hard.
This is
I found
very...
sucks.
You found sucks?
Yeah, S-U-X.
Sucks. Excellent. I feel a little bit better knowing that sucks is in here. Let's get a new perspective on this.
Yeah.
We're not leaving without it, obviously. We got the 100%.
I found flash of unstyled content.
What?
FOUC. It's a dreaded bane of web developers everywhere.
I see. I don't know what it is you web developers do in your room all day long. You just gather and I hear random typing and squawking for about 6 to 7 hours.
That's how it's done. I found fog.
Fog is a cool word, but it's not what we need. It's not a ship part.
What if it is?
What if it is? Yeah, because sometimes we find things that aren't what we expect, right?
Yeah. It was in the top right.
But I think it's too short, so... Yeah.
Battery. I found it. Cool. Let's try and go in.
Hold on. Can we use our ship parts? -1 damage.
What if we click on it? The ship? Okay.
Oh, it brings us all the way back to the top. Got it. Okay. So let's save now that we got all the stuff out of that. And then let's try to enter the torrent. Try to navigate inside, pulling a Dorothy, weaving between the ones and zeros into the whirl of water. Heavy debugger solid enough to power its way through the chaos of the data and into the torrent. A chaos of wind and water. It's all spinning nonsense. Steer the ship into the...
Is it supposed to be through? Steer the ship...
Through the... Yeah, let's try that.
Wait.
Oh, I need to see a pattern.
Wait, what are each of those? Those directions?
North, east... North, south, east, west. You're right. Yeah, it is. I don't know which way to go, though. Guess let's just keep going north?
Sure. Yeah, let's just keep doing that.
Okay, let's just keep going. South, east, west. Cool. The one that seems most reasonable is steer the ship south.
Let's just... Oh! Let's always just select the one that's most reasonable.
That's what I was thinking. Steer the ship north through the torrent.
Yep.
Steer the ship south through the torrent.
Cool.
Woo! Well, oh, awesome. Let's get crab scans and then we'll search the drunk. Sound good?
Word search. Word search.
Word search. Word search. You thought you were done with the word searches. What the fuck game do you think you're playing? Get out of here.
I found a yam.
Ooh, steamed yams.
I found a hug.
Aw, steamed hugs. No?
Yeah.
No? Okay. No steamed hugs for the SK. That's fine. Not like I wanted hugs anyway. I always want hugs. I want hugs basically all the time. It's pretty great.
Tumult.
You are so good at this. Tumult. Yeah, you're right. Chaos, 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 anarchy. Well, I disagree with that, but I get the intent. Let's see.
Gap.
And it only has one A in it. Law got him.
Got him.
Got him. Hoo!
Bedlam. Diagonal.
That's a great one.
Cool. Let's find some junk.
Search around the peaceful eye of the torrent. I noticed a piece of strange fabric floating among the debris. Examine it, discovered it's a non-Euclidean sail. I pull the Escher-like piece of canvas on board. It'll be annoying to trim a sail when I can never entirely understand the geometry of it, but well worth it since it's found an incomprehensible shape it could simulate motes of chaos.
That sounds really useful.
Sail does not respond correctly to physics, billowing in strange directions. It is quite difficult to fold. +8 momentum and simulates chaos.
Yes, please.
Wow! I wish we'd come here first. Cool. Steer back into the chaos. It's much easier to get out than in, and I spiral until I'm outside the torrent again.
Well, that was worth it.
That was worth it.
What happens if we steer away now?
Is that it? Huh.
Yeah, seems like it. And let's check the content warnings just in case. None? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, so that using the content warnings to determine if we haven't seen everything yet. It's not perfect, but it's an interesting suggestion. What happens if we try to go back in? Oh, just back here. Okay, yeah, that is all it is. All right. I feel like, so what are the loose ends we have to tug on right now? We have the girl in the whaling pit.
And the guy in the whaling pit.
And the guy in the whaling pit. And we don't seem to have the stuff we need to deal with them. I think... Well, we don't have the stuff we need to deal with the girl. I think we can give a good old college try, at least, to helping the man. But we never did find where the lady lived.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we are meant to get back to these places after we go to the next area.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because everything the game has kind of suddenly been telling us seems to suggest that going this way is going to lead us to the end of the game.
Lead us there, but I doubt it's going to be you go there and can't get back here.
Okay.
I think there's a lot more for us to explore.
I also get the impression that it's the kind of thing where unless we pick very specific options, we might not be able to see everything on a single run.
That's true. We almost certainly won't. But I'm willing to bet that this does not just take us to the end.
Okay. Counter School of Lanternfish. School of Lanternfish twirl in their hypnotic patterns and whisper enticing lures.
Fuck, I forgot to dark work on them.
Probably. Yay. Law got him. That was easy. I follow the emotional cable that connects me to my soul. The water is dim and murky. The ominous shapes that surround me are only vaguely lit by spotlight. Eventually, in the distance, I make out another source of light.
Can't believe this is Death Stranding.
Neon lights blink blue and clear in the dark. Lost Souls Diner! A sign of life and electricity. I turn the wheel and play a game to engage the short-distance, steam-powered engines. I maneuver down towards what appears to be an all-night diner floating near the bottom of the sea. Park my ship alongside a couple of other web ships floating near the door. Swim out and tie my anchor line around one of the mooring buoys. This looks cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't need to make a map of this place.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Standing in front of an all-night diner floating near the bottom of the ocean. The patch of ocean is lit by its blue neon sign. A couple of web ships are docked here. Lost Souls Diner. There's an off-the-shelf Intel dinghy. Intdel dinghy. Covered in dents and scratches and painted in the same colors as the diner. Probably belongs to the establishment. Also a black, custom-made cutter. Very sleek. The outside above the diner flickers, then it goes out. Huh. Well, it's unfortunate. Investigate the sign. I discovered that a transformer is burned out. Transformers provide the current used to power neon signs. I think I know how to replace one, and I'm sure I have an appropriate transformer somewhere in the piles of parts I still have from repairing my ship. Should I try to fix the sign? Yeah, sure, why not? Fetch the part and some tools from my ship. Find the blown transformer on the back of the sign. God, I know I've done this before. The step's a little hazy in my mind. Must be that pesky amnesia. First eye. The old transformer is mounted on the back of the sign. It's plugged in. The transformer is connected to the sign with insulated wires. I think stop doing delicate electronic work when I'm not sure what the steps are of the answer here.
Yeah, we'll probably find something. Find something. Let's go north.
A bell jingles as I enter. A woman smiles at me from behind a marble counter. Looks like someone's favorite aunt. Her name tag says Deb. She smiles at me.
Come on in, honey. Rest a spell. This is the Lost Souls Diner. We don't have maps, but we have pie. First slice is free.
First slice of pie is free. How can you get away with that?
How they get you.
A waitress stands behind a fake marble counter. Beside her is a glass display of desserts and a picture. A small shrine sits on the far end of the counter.
I want free pie.
There's a cat on the windowsill. Photo's entitled Bermuda Poker Night. Nice. That's a cool photo. Small shrine to various gods of travel. There's a candle depicting St. Christopher, an idol of Hermes, and a tiny cairn to Crux. The god of in-between places.
And sneezes.
Sorry, I get allergic around Hermes. Hermes specifically.
Hey, honey, what can I help you with?
Do we want pie first?
Yeah.
You mentioned pie?
That I did.
Oh, Deb smiles broadly.
That I did. First slice is free. Let me get something good for you.
Deb swims over to the dessert rack and opens it up. She takes a long look at me, then critically examines the pastries and pies. She takes out a slice of key lime pie and brings it over, deftly maneuvering the plate so it doesn't float off. She sets it down in front of me. Serving food underwater is a particular skill. Eat the pie. Yo, got our health back. Woo!
Hell yeah.
I eat the key lime pie and discover it is my favorite dessert. The crust is pastry and the filling is creamy. The sweetness balances the tartness. It tastes right. That was perfect. Are you some sort of dessert empath?
Oh no, honey. I'm just good at my job. Glad you liked it, though. Just a moment, honey.
I stopped before leaving the conversation.
I was just wondering, are you one of those sorcerers? Open sorcerers? Who knows secrets about the web and magic and such?
Yeah, what do you need help with?
Well, I got a group of customers who don't quite know how to move on. They're nice folks, but taking up a lot of table space and sorta, from a time before bathing was much of a thing. The smell is putting people off. They're looking for a place to settle down, and I was wondering if an experienced sorcerer such as yourself might be able to give them some useful advice.
Where can I find them?
They're down at the end of the booths.
She points east.
Big crew, can't miss it. Thanks, honey. I appreciate it.
No problem. Small price to pay for
Pie.
key lime pie. Your neon sign seems to be broken.
Oh, again? Darn, but if it isn't one thing, it's another. And that means our best customers won't be able to find us. More's the pity. I'll have to buy a new one from that rat fella.
Replace the entire sign, but you've probably only burned out a transformer.
Burned a what?
The black box behind the sign. Neon signs need a high voltage to power them. Higher than you get from a normal outlet. So the transformer takes the power from the outlet and ups the voltage, then sends it to the sign. And the glass didn't spark when it went out. The sign itself looks intact, and the rest of your diner has power. It's probably a problem with the transformer. You don't need to replace the entire sign. You can just replace the transformer. Deb is staring at me. She shakes her head slightly.
Well, I sure don't know anything about that, and if I don't, Theo and Anna for sure don't. Tell you what, if you go and fix our sign, I'll give you another free sample. Save me a trip in dealing with that rat.
I'll think about it. Can I order something?
Just give me one of any matter or motive. I'll give you a dish that suits it. That's a little game I play to pass the time. Pastry for matters, caffeine for motives. I got a limit of 3 per customer though. Don't want to run out.
Does my free sample count towards the 3?
No, honey, that's free in every way.
Okay, I'm fine for now. I don't want to use up any of our matters and motives willy-nilly.
Yep.
Just because we might need them for that one bit.
We should ask her if she's seen any memories though.
I'm looking for lost memories. Have you seen any?
Well, this isn't the best place for finding things, I'm afraid, but feel free to have a look around.
Sounds good. What is this place?
Lost Souls Diner, watering hole for those who have gotten a bit turned around. Chance to sit down for a spell and catch your breath.
So this is one of those context-based magical places that shows up when certain criteria are met? Like magic curio shops that appear and disappear, only oriented towards lost people instead of potential heroes?
Oh, maybe? That sounds about right. I'm afraid I don't know much about the why and how, do you? I'm just the waitress.
I see. Thank you.
Approach the cat.
Bright orange cat with short but curiously curly hair regards me.
Talk to the cat.
Ask the cat a few questions. He blinks at me. I guess this isn't a magic talking cat.
Cast a spell. Omens.
I cast a prophecy on the cat. I foresee many naps, some eating, and more naps.
Very important. Aren't you glad we did that?
I am so glad we did that, and I cannot wait for the comment section to light me up right now. Let's stop casting magic on the cat. Can we pet the cat?
Yeah.
Pet the cat. He regally accepts this as his rightful due.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Matter or motive, huh? Hello, world.
Cat seems intrigued by the light in the movement, but quickly decides the letters are too large for him to chase. Huh. Guess do something else, huh?
Yep.
Among the booths, an old man is watching a television mounted on the wall. A man in a black hoodie sits in a booth, trick shuffling a deck of tarot cards. Framed cross stitch is hanging on the wall, catches my eye. The The wall hanging is embroidered words illuminated with delicately stitched filigree. It reads, "There's nothing you cannot lose. Your way, your sight, your purpose, your mind. Lost souls wander. It is in their nature. They're searching for something to fill the absence lost left inside them." I do not offer solutions. I offer respite. Lay down the burden of loss for a moment and dine with me. Lost Souls Diner Management. Interesting. The man looks up as I approach and smirks.
Hey, babe.
Hello. First item, do not call me babe. He shrugs with indifferent acquiescence.
Okay, what should I call you?
Pisces.
The Pisces?
His eyes widen and he stops mid-shuffle. Five of cups falls down on the table. The Pisces, yeah. Depends on who's asking. Or just yes. Want to be like, depends on who's asking.
Who's asking?
He leans back.
My handle's Vicious Cycle.
He pronounces the 3 with a 4chan accent.
You can call me Cycle. So you're the missing prophet. There's people who'll be interested to know you're not dead.
You've heard of me. Who are you planning to tell about me? What's your deal? What do you mean call me prophet? Yeah, my memory's here in Lost Souls Diner. How are you lost? You've heard of me?
That sounds like a question that's worth something to you. Tell you what, I'll play you for answers.
He riffles the tarot cards together.
The game is Protagonist Blackjack. You ante a dark moat, I'll ante your answers. Whoever wins gets what they want.
How do you play?
I draw 2 cards, you get to see 1. You draw 2 cards, I get to see 1. I put 3 cards in the middle. You pick 1, I pick 1. Highest hand gets points for their hand. We played at 200 points.
So I'm trying to make hands out of tarot cards. What are the different hands and how many points are they worth?
I'm not going to tell you.
Really?
That's the game, Protagonist Blackjack. You're the protagonist, I'm the NPC. You gotta figure out my puzzle. Once you know the hands, you're at an advantage since you pick first.
Until then, you're gonna make moats off me while I learn the hands.
You got how it works. Still wanna play?
Not really. Who are you planning to tell about me?
Maybe the Excellence Corporation. Maybe not. You wanna pay me to keep quiet?
What's the Excellence Corporation?
Ha!
So that's your attempt at extortion.
Oh yeah, you want to pay me so I don't tell the Excellence Corporation you're still alive?
How much?
Give me a motive fire matter or a motive order motive and I'll be quiet. I'm collecting those M&Ms for a project.
Let's give him an order.
Sure.
Because we can generate all the order we need.
Yeah.
Pass him the moat and he pockets it. He grins at me.
Nice to never have met you.
Right.
What's the deal?
So what is your deal?
I do custom programs, information gathering, and cryptographic spiritual signature creation.
And by that you mean viruses, identity theft, and matter forgery.
You got it. Need any of that?
I could have, like, a couple hours ago, but now I'm good. So you're in Lost Souls Diner? How are you lost?
I did some jobs and my name's Hot.
He shrugs and smirks.
So I got lost. You can get lost on purpose.
I suppose you can. About your illegal activities. No, we don't need any of that yet.
I wonder if we will eventually.
Yeah, what an interesting fellow. Okay, so we can... I wonder if we can scam him with the fake dark motes.
I don't think we... Oh wait, do we still have some? I thought we gave that away already.
Yeah, I think we did. Talk to the old man. The man sits hunched, his back is humped into a crooked way so that his default state is hunched. He watches the television. He mumbles at me in a friendly but disjointed way.
No.
Look at the television. Playing reruns of I Love Lucy. Let's watch. Eventually he starts to talk to me in that unsolicited way old men sometimes do.
When I was young, I went to work. When I was older, I had my own float, but when I was young, I just hooked a pail of milk to a handlebar, one on each so they balanced. Started out at 2 in the morning. No one locked the doors back then. I'd step inside and fill their bottles out of my pail.
What? He coughs a bit.
I took care of folks. Fed the miller's cat when my wife was sick. Took the bins out for Sadie. Painted a house, mowed a lawn, what folks needed. I took care of them. No matter the weather, I'd dig a path through the snow. Steady as a mailman. They still need male men. They still need young men.
He coughs a thick, wet cough full of bile. Ugh. Get some water for him?
Let's go spell.
Can you turn back time when you strip away progress for the sake of one man being needed? Can you cure age? I can't. Some problems can't be fixed with magic.
Makes sense.
Some water?
Sure.
Get a glass of water from Deb and bring it back to him. I cover it with the saucer so the normal water doesn't mingle with the metaphorical water around me and become diluted. The man gratefully accepts it. He drinks it and clears his throat. He doesn't finish it all, and his life hangs so loosely on him that some falls off into the water. Turns back to the television and his eyes sad and glassy. Life goes on around him. The old man is watching a television mounted on the wall. A bit of life is floating in a glass of water on the table in front of the man.
Free life. We should probably return it and be nice.
Turn drink the rest of the water. He absently does. Alright, well. I float along among a maze of tables and booths. Two women sit at a table. Soft voices are coming from under one of the tables. Look under the noisy table. Look under the table producing noises. Two children are playing there. One is a boy with long curly hair and a little suit. He looks like he just stepped out of a black and white photo. The other boy is so far under the table I can't see him clearly. I only make out his eyes, which gleam entirely black with no iris or white.
Cool.
Not a human child, but still a child. First boy's teaching the second to play jacks. They're having trouble with the balls. It keeps floating off instead of bouncing properly. Despite that, they're very absorbed. Hello. I kneel down so I'm level with the boys. Hello. The human boy looks right up and smiles.
Good morning, ma'am.
He frowns, glancing out the window at the dark sea.
Good day.
The other boy coos softly, but remains under the table. My name is Pisces.
That's a proper odd name.
He pauses.
Sorry for being rude, ma'am. I'm Charlie. This is Peep. Say hello, Peep.
Peep is too shy to say hello. He glances nervously at the girls across the aisle, then he glances nervously at me. I decide to let him alone until he feels more comfortable. Charlie, however, scoots out from under the table, happy to have someone to talk to. Pleased to meet you, Charlie. Can I ask you some questions?
Yes, ma'am.
He looks at me expectantly.
Got any memories?
Do you want to cast an Omni first?
Sure, why not?
Shy children avoid too many people, but they can like animals.
Like a cat.
Or an octopus.
Ooh.
No. Just something. Okay, cool.
Hello, Miss Pisces.
Peep peers shyly at me from under the table. He glances nervously at the girls across the aisle, then glances nervously at me. I am looking for my memories. Have you seen any? I pull one of my memories out of my head to show them what it looks like.
Oh, yes, there's one like that in the bin in the back. The bin where lost things go.
Thank you. How'd you get here, Charlie?
Well, one day me and Walter were playing outside when some men came out of a carriage. They said they had candy and fireworks, and they'd give us a ride in the carriage. They did, and it was proper fun, and they let Walter out to buy fireworks, but then we drove off without Walter. And I asked them why, and they wouldn't say. I stayed with the men for a long time. They weren't really friendly at all. But then, Miss Deb came and said that if I liked, I could become lost. And I wouldn't get to see my mom and dad again because I'd be lost, but I'd get away from the men.
Charlie fiddles with his jacks a bit.
I think the men were going to kill me dead, like the men at hangings, so I left with Miss Deb. I miss my mom and dad, but I'm glad I'm not dead, and now I live here.
I see. Thank you for telling me your story, Charlie.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Can you tell me about your friend?
Peep's a good fellow. Not much for strangers. Likes cats, though. He's lost, like me. He's gonna try to get home soon, though, once he works up his courage.
So Charlie's friend probably won't be around forever. Thank you. Alright, well let's try to bring the cat over here.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to the women after that.
I wonder if it's a matter or motive thing.
Maybe the water? To help lead it over there?
I don't know. It seems like it should be a motive related to the cat in some way. But what? It's bright orange. Maybe it's fire?
Maybe?
I don't know.
Okay, we don't think we have what we need for this yet.
Yeah.
So approach the two women. One of the women is tinkering with a music box. The other is reading a thick, battered book. She's also humming a song, though she doesn't seem to remember all the words.
A battered book. Wow, they'll deep fry anything here, huh?
Jesus Christ.
I'm dedicating every la-di-da. La-di-da was never la-di-da. When you smile something something apart, and I thought I was so smart.
Familiar. Is it the same? Listen. Yep, okay. I attempt to talk to the woman with the music box. She seems friendly, but her problem is immediately apparent. She only speaks Russian. Some apologetic hand motions, we disengage. This seems odd to me, as most human souls down here don't speak a particular language, but instinctively communicate in human, the shared dialect of our species spoken in dreams. But I don't press the matter. Oh well. The reading woman looks up.
Oh, hi, I'm on break. If you need help, Deb can serve you at the counter.
Oh, sorry to bother you. I feel like the right answer in this case is always sorry to bother you.
Yeah, but clearly there's game here. Sure, I suppose.
What's your name?
Theodosia, but that's far too long, so you can call me Theo.
What do you do here?
I'm a waitress when Deb needs a break. I also handle takeout, drive the delivery ship. I have a lot of experience navigating dangerous waters. That's sort of how I got here.
Who do you deliver to?
There's a rat down on the plane that orders sometimes, but mostly the Flying Dutchman. They come by every now and then. They navigate by our neon sign, but they can't dock, so they always need takeout.
Who's your friend?
That's Anna. She's pretending to only speak Russian to avoid talking to you. She's a charmer. That's why I'm a waitress and she busses tables.
Fair enough. Anna sticks her tongue out at Theo. She smiles apologetically but unrepentantly at me before returning to her music box. What are you reading? She lifts her book so I can read the title. A People's History of the United States, the 1800s.
Where have we seen the name Anna come up in this before?
I don't remember.
I swear we just saw it this episode.
Should we try to talk to the tinkering woman again?
Sure, why not? Oh well, guess we just gotta learn Russian real quick.
Yep. Well, we know what she's doing, but still. Float among a maze of tables and booths. On the floor against the back wall is a box with a sign over it. A huge group of maybe 30 women and children are spread around the booths here. What's the sign say? The sign says lost and found. However, the words and found have been scribbled out. It's not a very hopeful sign. Root around in the box. Found a skull with a label fixed to the side. The label reads Cromwell.
Ah.
Found a gold-plated sterling silver statue. Recognize the subject as Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. Seems
just do it.
Stop this. Find a big diamond about the size of an egg cut in half. Find a tarnished old cup. Find one of my memories. Take my memory. Discover part of dream true meaning. I'm angry. I'm frustrated enough that you can hear it in my voice.
Wonder if there's more in there.
Right?
Let's root around.
Find a golden medal with the name Muhammad Ali on the back. Find a tape with the label Apollo 11 on the side. Taking that one. It's not mine. Find a sheaf of papers entitled My Life by Lord Byron. Find a skeleton of a dodo. That's all there is in the box.
Take it.
It's not mine.
Oh well.
Okay, so we only get one of our memory bits
fair.
from here. Okay.
That's fine.
Women are wearing white caps and wool dresses of many different colors. Children are mostly dressed in simple gowns. They are all distinguished by terrible hygiene. The tables around them are piled with old dishes. The smell stops my approach. Ignore the odor and ask the women who they are and where they come from. Most of them are very confused. They aren't clear on where they are and what has happened to them. Apparently left their home, some sort of home, after the man left to look for a new place and didn't come back. That was after Governor White left for help from England and didn't come back, and they were starving, and Virginia had a dream and they followed her. Now they're here and they have pie. There's a general consensus that they are in heaven. Despite the fact that she's about 12, I determined that a little girl poring over a map is in charge of the operation. Hello.
How now?
Deb mentioned that you needed a consultation.
You're an explorer? A lady explorer?
I am.
We are company then. I'm Virginia. I was first born between nations, so I've a gift for travel. For finding the between spaces, but now we are needing an end, a new home, and that's not travel but settling, and I've no gift for that. So I've been asking those wanderers what come through here if they know of a good place for living.
Have you
traveled to a place we might call home?
What are you looking for in a home?
First of all, we need the say-so from any living there. I've seen it done with no say-so, and that's no mistake I'll see done again, not while I carry the map. We live by farming. Green places to make fields is good for us. Oh, and if there's more of this electricity and plumbing, that would be a fine thing.
I understand. I'll come back if I can think of something for you.
Goodbye.
Okay, so we got a couple of threads to tug on in here.
Yeah.
We got to find a way to fix the sign. We got to find a place for these folks to live.
What if we back out of here? Have we opened up any new areas? I'm curious.
Outside?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like if we get in our ship or whatever. I see, it just still goes up though. Okay. But we can still go back to all the other places and so on. So that's cool. That's cool.
So what we need, I'm just making a list of things we need to tug on still.
We need a green place with electricity and plumbing for Virginia.
The pit. Get the cat to the lad.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to get Garf to go hang out with Normal there.
Green. Electricity.
You didn't even react.
Plumbing. I wonder, just real quick, I wonder if we can, due to the lighthouse will be amenable to taking them. Nope. Well, it was worth a shot. Want to keep trying going up?
Sure. We could also blackjack.
Right, blackjack, that is a thing we can do.
There's gonna be stuff there. There's gonna be stuff.
And I think we could cheat by save scumming and learning the hands. Do you want to keep looking around first?
No, let's look a bit. Let's.
Oh, and fixing the sign.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just making a list of all the little side quests we have. Ready to sail the C++. Encounter an evil whale. There's a black, sharp-toothed evil whale grinning at me. Corpses hang half out of its mouth and cast a shadow of pure blackness.
That's frustrating because we don't have life or light. But I guess we can try death or dark.
We could try death.
See if we are deathier.
The whale is excited by its resident motive and chases the motive death. I take the opportunity to escape.
Good enough.
Yeet. Oh, we also have to find some way to get the fire motives out of that one pit. Or
yeah,
matter.
we never figured that out.
Heading toward the barrier where the deep web becomes just the web. I'm becoming concerned. Different depths have different qualities. Abyssopelagic. Bathopelagic. The deep web is saturated with relationships, thick and liquid, but the next level up...
Excuse me?
Huh?
Excuse me?
Well, I don't...
What is the light? What? Thick and liquid? Thickwood.
Oh. I couldn't understand what you were doing for a moment there. I'm so sorry. Thickwood. But the next level up, the web is not necessarily that way. It's closer to the surface that is the physical world. It is less dense with emotions, and its air acts like normal air. You can't swim through it, you have to walk, which I can't do. Keep my web ship pressurized and liquid, but when I leave... To think these fretful thoughts, I see a blue light filtering through the water in front of the ship. The brightest memory I've seen so far. It pulses and shines like a beacon. I steer towards it. Let's drop a save real quick. I don't think we want to leave yet. Most important memory I've seen so far. Most formative memory. Most painful memory. The light leads me to a guyot. Seamount with a flat top. Large, dark shapes circle the pinnacle. I weave carefully between them and land on the flat peak near the light. I swim out. I'm on a flat, black stone plain. To the south I see a mound. My ship is here. The nest. This area is dominated by a pile of objects. In the pile I see chains. On the top of a pile is my wheelchair. Pink slips. Retail name tags. Divorce papers. Syringes. thumb screws, belts, crutches, pill bottles. The wheelchair. I swim up to the top of the pile. I feel a rush of relief. I'd been so worried about how I was going to get around without it, but the relief drops into cold dread when I realize it's broken. That's why it's on the sad pile of awful trash. The only way I have of getting around, and it's broken. Okay, no, wait, don't catastrophize. Look at it. What is actually wrong? Maybe I can fix it. The wheels are missing. Okay, that's actually pretty okay. I can fix that. As long as they weren't chewed by a sea monster, I can fix that. I need to get a look at the axle. As long as the axle isn't damaged, we're fine. The chair's wedged into a mound of broken toys. I'll start trying to pull it out. Something sinks its teeth into my back. Life is meaningless.
Let's create some meaning real quick.
I create meaning. I feel so tired and stupid and pointless. Feelings pass. There's nothing to do, but there's nothing to look forward to.
Let's make something to look forward to.
Oh. Whoa. I didn't mean to double click there.
Luckily, it looks like you clicked the right option. Well, aren't you a tough little morsel, all grit and muscles? I doubt your marrow is worth gnawing through your bones.
I've dealt with your kind before.
Clearly, you know how to wrestle your darkness. You understand that your soul is water. I respect the power in that knowledge.
Who are you?
Me? I am no one, just a ghost with an appetite.
What does a hungry ghost eat?
People. Nothing so crass as flesh. I eat the weak slurry that remains in people when despair has rotted their core. Delicious.
I've dealt with your kind before. Alright. Who are you?
We also did this one.
Why did you attack me?
What do you do when prey wanders into your home?
That's my chair.
Is it your chair? And you want it back. This icon of suffering. This memorial to loss. You want it back in your life.
Well, like, this thing allows me to move around easily. Yes, I would like it back. I needed to fucking get around. Well, that's some ableist bullshit. How are we fighting back here?
I think we would like it back.
I needed to fucking get around. I don't think we need to play this dude's game.
Okay.
I need to fucking get around.
I know pain, and I know that it is plastered deliciously over that object. Yes, because it's broken. When it's fixed, it will...
I hesitate.
I don't need to explain this to you.
Where are the wheels?
Oh, sorry, I read your line.
That's fine.
One was stolen from me by the grindy low. One fell off and was swallowed by a sea monster. One I gave to the kappa, to be polite. And one I gave to the troll, in exchange for poison.
The hungry ghost settles on a mound of discarded wedding rings.
Have fun.
Flipper the bird, then get to work. Interesting. Okay.
Let's explore the nest. We haven't done that.
I swim around the nest looking for anything else of mine. Behind one of the mounds of sad objects, I find a well. Stone, circular, complete with a mount and bucket. What an odd thing to find deep in the ocean.
What's in the well?
Look down in the well, swim into the well, leave the well. The well goes deep enough that I cannot see the bottom. Swim into the well. For about 20 yards of swimming down, then abruptly I'm swimming up. The sudden shift in orientation is dizzying, and I have to brace myself against a stone wall.
Yeah?
Swimming, now ascending. I reach the top of the well, the second top of the well. The first difference I noticed between this and the top of the well I came from is that the side opens into thin air. Means I left the deep web and reached the reb. This well must be a web link. The air's damp. I tread water in the well. Okay. So there is nothing else for us to do here.
What's swim south there?
Oh.
There's a south.
Yeah, about that. This would be a windfall, a shortcut right to the higher reaches of the web, and maybe even the physical world, but I can't take advantage of it. The air in this room emulates the air of the physical world, which is normal in the higher layers of the web. I can't swim through it. So if I leave the well, I won't be able to move around without my wheelchair. And my wheelchair isn't going to fit through this narrow well. Interesting as this is, I think it's a dead end. Alright.
Oh, what else is around?
Throw a coin into the well. Oh. Omni. Fear her charity. When you have rebuilt her prize, she'll let neither go.
Hmm.
Hello. The hungry ghost watches the lights dance with muted amusement. With one rake of an ephemeral claw, she tears them into glimmering shreds. She smiles at me. Well, fine. You don't have to be a dick about it. Okay, so what we got here is this is going to point us in like four different directions, right? We got the Grindilo. What's the Grindilo?
It's a mystery. A messy eater. It lives in the reef to the west. Be wary, my morsel. The reef is filled with monsters. Squicks and gilded boars and terrible crayfish. They will find you more delicious than I do.
What's a squick?
An exquisite nightmare. I would keep one as a pet, if not for the barbs. One lives in the depths of the coral cave. Sometimes I feed it the little gasping fish that hide in the sponge. I love feeling their bright, mounting terror as they are flayed and digested, like trembling stars.
What's a gilded boar?
A belligerent beast, but worry less over him than over the others. He will stay by his ship unless you bother him.
Or don't fuck with. Got it. What's a terrible crayfish?
Oh, it's just terrible. The name is self-explanatory.
Fair.
It just sucks.
So let's go west then. I'm in a sparse seagrass meadow. To the west, branches of black coral mark the edge of a dark reef. The break in the coral I can swim through, or I can swim up above the reef. In the real ocean, seamounts are many layers below the space where reefs form. Physical reefs need sunlight and the moving water made by tides. The reef formed of water that eddies restlessly as relationships swirl down from the web. Its plants drink darkness instead of light. Search the area. Let's see. We want... Ooh, we want to... Are there memories here?
So wait, was this the direction that the Grindilo is? And that those things were described
Oh yeah,
in?
we need to find one of the fishes. How did she describe the fish?
Quick. Gasping fish. Little gasping fish that hide in the sponge.
Bright mounting terrors, they are flayed and digest. Okay, like trembling stars.
Small, quick-moving shapes. Gasping softly. I don't know. It's not clear what we need to do.
Okay.
What if we swim up? What's that do?
Treading water above a seagrass meadow. To the west, I see tips of the antlers of black coral, thrust upwards like spears. I can swim down.
I see.
I'm in a forest of dark coral. It branches into reaching antlers that end in sharp tips. Above me is a canopy of spikes. There are gaps in the sharp coral that I can fit through to the east and the west.
What if we look once again for small, quick-moving shapes, gasping softly?
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
Is that the squick?
Yeah.
What if we examine it?
The monster is orange and made of almost entirely of slender, curling tendrils. They branch innumerably. They branch innumerably from a pentagonal body nestled far above me, cradled in coral. The tendrils drift gently in the current. They look delicate, but I don't trust that appearance. I squint and see there are letters tattooed on the creature's tiny body. Quota 3. I don't know what to do here.
Worrisome.
Yeah. Let's keep taking the lay of the land here. What's north?
Ooh.
I start swimming through the branch. As I go, I inevitably brush against some of the orange tendrils. They snap around me, find my neck, and start trying to throttle me. I struggle. They're slender, and I manage to snap them off. There are more, and I have to retreat. I swim back to the entrance I came from. My neck is sore. Okay, so don't go north.
Yeah, so that's probably going to happen any direction other than the one we came from, right?
Seems like it, yep. Sorry for losing our health so callously.
It's fine. I did it too. What's the other stuff we can be looking into that's not over this way?
Yeah. Let's swim north. Oh.
Ship's there, okay. Does the ghost have something to say about the other things in the other directions?
Who's the troll you mentioned?
A most delightful neighbor of mine. He lives to the east in the corpse of a singer. We often dine together, I on soul and him on flesh. I doubt your skin is as resilient as your mind. Perhaps do not announce your presence to my dear neighbor.
Okay.
What else does the hungry ghost have to say?
The Kappa?
A very polite neighbor. He lives in the reef to the west.
Oh. So the Kappa lives in the reef. Okay. Spot of the wheels, do you have any idea where it is?
I am sure you saw the sea beasts when you arrived. They circle the mountain. If I recall, the one that snapped up your wheel was serpentine, a sort of sea worm. Good to know.
All right. Tell you what. I think we're going to leave it here for today.
All right.
And next time we'll come back and we'll keep trying to make our way through the... We're going to find our 4 wheels.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah! Woo! Sorry, I get excited sometimes.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.